So I was just go through my notes. So as you all requested, we're going to talk about Vrindavan today. I'm in Vrindavan, and one of the things about Vrindavan that this is actually the spiritual world in the material world. And as we know, the material world goes through annihilation and creation. If it's creation and it gets annihilated, um, Vrindavan doesn't get annihilated. Of course, the material side of things, buildings and whatnot might, but this is the abode of Krishna. And when Krishna descends to this world in Vrindavan, the entire spiritual world descends with Krishna to Vrindavan. So although it's the embassy, like an Indian embassy in a foreign country or a foreign embassy in India is considered that country itself. Am I audible?
Prabhuji, but there are some network issues from your side, I feel.
I'm
It,
saying
it was breaking off. Yep.
okay. So in an embassy, what happens is the law of that country is applicable versus the law of the land on which that embassy stands. So similarly in Vrindavan, the laws that act are not the material laws. It's the spiritual laws. And wonderful pastimes of Krishna are happening every day. When you go visit certain places where Krishna is calling the cows, Krishna is actually calling the cows, right? But it is called aprakat lila. That means it is no more visible to our naked eyes. But the lila is happening. When Krishna comes in every Dwapar Yuga, or not every Dwapar Yuga, but every 20th Manvantar period Dwapar Yuga, that's when the aprakat lila becomes prakat lila. But the pastimes are happening nevertheless. So there are wonderful places of Vrindavan where Krishna dances every night, or the place where Krishna would collect taxes from the gopis and the Radharani. So that you can actually see the spots of the butter and kheer and all the milk products that are splattered all over the stones. And it's a very narrow road. When you go to Barsana, it falls there. It's a very narrow road, and that's why Krishna would use that road to block and ask for taxes from the gopis, that you have to feed me butter or else I won't let you go. So places like that, everywhere it's there. Tomorrow we're going to Raval. Raval is a place where Radharani was born or appeared in a golden lotus. So that place is a puddle right now, but still you can go and you can see it. So it's a reminder that these incidents happened. But more so, when we are in this holy Dham, the way Bhaktisiddhanta described this was like oil film on water. When you see the oil that spreads itself on top of the water, you can't see the water, you see the oil. So in Vrindavan, it's a village, and there are traffic, there is people shouting, there is dust and this and that. But beneath all that is the spiritual world. And I personally have certain realizations, very, very small. But one of the things that I look for when I go to Mayapur is the wind of Mayapur. It feels like it's Lord Chaitanya's coolness, that embrace of Lord Chaitanya. When I come to Vrindavan, I look at the moon, because the moon, I do not see moon anywhere in the world like that, especially the night when Krishna dances with the gopis, the Rasa Leela dance. The moon is purple, orange, yellow, 3 shades, and it's massive, right? And this is not this worldly. There is something else happening here. So you're going to Mayapur tomorrow. Oh, wonderful! Congratulations. Experience the wind of Mayapur. It has some specialty in it. So like that in Vrindavan also, there are things you can pick out that it's very, very special. And the laws work very differently depending on our absorption, our meditation. The laws in Vrindavan are very different. The deities reciprocate in very, very amazing ways, because Krishna is personally here in different moods, right? So as Govinda Dev, he is a cow herder, pleasing the gopis and pleasing the cows. So he's in that mood. As in our ISKCON temple, he's rather Sham Sundar, very beautiful. At least my observation is he's looking at all the devotees, and he's very chanchala. His eyes are really, really like looking around, moving. I've seen it many times. I remember one of my birthdays, I was looking at Shamsundar and his eyes kept on moving from people to people. I was like, I rubbed my eyes and I looked again and I kept on seeing his eyes are moving from people to people. And it's not a joke. I've heard from other devotees also, they don't leave Vrindavan for Shamsundar only, because Shamsundar reciprocates in that way. He's not just a deity, he's just there, he's the Lord. And you know, it's incredible. So every deity here, like there is Radha Raman. Radha Raman is a self-manifested deity. So Raman, if you see his backside, he's a very small deity, like this big. But if you see his backside, is round, because he's come out of a Shalagram Shila. So there is a devotee, one of the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan. His name was Gopal Bhatta Goswami. He was a South Indian, Saraswat Brahmin. So for them, they're not into deity worship, they're into Shalagram worship. And there was this Mr. Kapoor, who was a businessman, and he was gifting all the Goswamis different clothes for their deities. And Gopal Bhatta Goswami has this desire that I wish I had a deity that I can offer such clothes to and decorate him every day and all that. Next morning he got up and there was Radharaman. And if you see Radharaman's picture, certain days you can see his teeth, he's smiling. Certain days you cannot see his teeth, it's just lips. Very, very miraculous deity. Very close, we'll be going shortly, hopefully. And incredible, the kitchen, the fire has been going on for the last 500 years. Since Gopal Bhatta Goswami's time, the fire has not been turned on. Prasadam is made, the devotees are very amazing. Anybody can go and sing, and the Lord is extremely merciful, right? Another one of my favorite deities here. Please make a vlog, Prabhuji. I was thinking something similar, maybe I can ask one of my friends here to shoot. I was thinking Maharaj will speak something and I'll make a little video, quick summary for all of you. Another place, it's a hidden place. Right next to Radharaman, there is Loknath Goswami's place where there's a deity of Radha Gokulananda. So Radha Gokulananda, when you go there, it's very special because there are certain things that make that space special. So there is a Govardhan Shila, where there's a thumbprint of Lord Chaitanya. Because Lord Chaitanya, when he was in Puri, Jagannath Puri, he used to miss Govardhan and miss Krishna. So he would rub that Govardhan Shila and rub it on his face and be like, Krishna, 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 I miss you. Then miss Krishna, and he was rubbing so much that his thumbprint is on that Govardhan Shila. Later on, he gave it to a devotee to worship that Shila, and that devotee gave it to somebody who brought it to this temple. So if you ask the pujaris, they can actually show, and you see that deep thumb mark of Lord Chaitanya. Another place you see Lord Chaitanya's fingerprints is Jagannath Puri. When you go all the way to the back, where the Garuda Stamba is, there's a 3 fingerprints, where most Gauriya devotees, we know it's Lord Chaitanya's fingerprint. We put our finger, and Lord Chaitanya has to put his finger there and stretch it. He's already 7 feet tall. And stretch himself up and see Jagannath from the back. Because he was tall, if he goes to the front, other devotees won't be able to see the Lord. So he would go all the way to the back and see Jagannath from the back. And his fingerprints melted the stone. So it is there. Another place where Lord Chaitanya's body melted the stone is right next to Jagannath Puri, called Alarnath, where he paid his obeisances, and that stone has Lord Chaitanya's body shape completely carved out. So they, when they moved, renovated the temple, they cut out that piece of stone and they moved beside Alarnath, which is a deity of Lord Narayan, and you can see Lord Chaitanya's body form imprinted on the stone. So Lord Chaitanya is Krishna, but in his devotee form, he was so intense that things would melt, like stones would melt in his presence. Tigers and lions would start chanting and dancing. Indranath and Krishnanu just went to Jharikhanda forest, to that place where that pastime happened. So Vrindavan is like that, where Lord Chaitanya, when he came, the cows, the monkeys, at that time there were deers, they would come and lick him in the mood that he's Krishna. Like, where were you all these days? Right? They're like, here's our Lord right here. So, and the Radha Kund and Sham Kund, which are supposed to be the most holy places in the entire universe, there were little puddles. So after Krishna left the planet, all these places in Vrindavan were actually hidden. They became like Govardhan was there, but other places were not so much well known. So Lord Chaitanya came and identified these places. This is Sham Kund, this is Radha Kund. This is these are the Pandavas in tree forms. If you go to Radha Kund, there are trees that are Pandavas who are there. So Bhima is there, Arjun is there, and others are there. So they're actually, why are they there in tree form? Because they're witnessing Radha Krishna doing Jhulan Yatra. You know, Jhulan Yatra we just had. So Jhulan Yatra happens on Radha Kund, Sham Kund. So every day, these pastimes are happening on Radha Kund, Sham Kund, where these, vines, on these vines made kind of a jhulan, Krishna and Radharani are swinging. Then Radharani gets off and other gopis come in and they swing. And after they're done swinging, they go into all these temples around Radha Kund. Somewhere they're eating pan, somewhere they're resting, somewhere they're being massaged and all of that. And Lord Nityananda's wife, Janava Devi, so there is, if you go to Radha Kund, there's a small little tree and there is a little hidden pathway. It's called Janava Devi's Bhajan Kutir. So because she's a woman, so she was a spiritual master. Imagine, woman spiritual master, woman guru. Today we are having so many conflict about Diksha, female Diksha guru in ISKCON. She was a woman Diksha guru of Bengal, Orissa, and Vrindavan. And she was at Radha Kund. Every day she would take her bath in Radha Kund. So it's a little hidden area where she would take her bath and she would chant there. And when she would chant, she would witness Radha Krishna pastimes happening. She could see all the gopis, there doing their different leela. Radha and Krishna swinging after that, they doing the leela. And that was her chanting. So one of you asked, Rahul Prabhu asked in the group that, chanting from there, what happens? And I mentioned to you that first there is Nam, then there is Roop, Leela, Guna, all of that, right? So like that, they're chanting with that level of pastimes, Leela. So Janava Mata would actually be able to see and witness the Leela. Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami in Vrindavan, they would take part in the Leela. So one day, Srila Rupa Goswami was chanting and he was in Krishna Leela. And he started laughing. Why? Because there was a pastime where Krishna pulled down one of the mango branches. So Radharani was trying to pluck the mangoes. She was not able to. By the way, mangoes in Vrindavan are heavenly. She was trying to pluck the mangoes and she was not able to. She was not getting her height. So Krishna pulled down the branch. She got the mango and Krishna mischievously let go the branch. And Radharani went up with the branch. So everybody around were laughing. And so was Rupa Goswami. Right? Anyway, there's a lot more to the story. I'm not getting there. But like that, there were many pastimes. Like Sanatan Goswami, one time Rupa Goswami wrote that Radharani's hair, the way it's braided, it looks like a cobra. And Sanatan Goswami told Rupa Goswami that you shouldn't have used that word. Cobra analogy for Radharani's braided hair is not appropriate. Rupa Goswami said, fine. And he's a younger brother. Sanatan Goswami is an older brother. So he said, okay, fine, my mistake. And Sanatan Goswami was walking by and there were all these gopis and there was this girl. And he saw that there was a cobra riding up her back. And he said, oh my God, little Lali, there is a cobra on your back. She turned around and looked, smiled, disappeared. That was Radharani. Showing Sanatan Goswami, Rupa Goswami wasn't wrong. That's how it looks like. Right? So like that, there are so many amazing pastimes. One time, Rupa Goswami it was his birthday. Sanatan Goswami wanted to, hold on, was it Rupa Goswami or Sanatan Goswami? Sanatan Goswami wanted to make some sweet rice. Guess who came? This little girl came, gave him milk, said, you can make something with this milk for your brother. And Rupa Goswami made it. Sanatan Goswami made that sweet rice. He brought it to Rupa Goswami. When Rupa Goswami had that sweet rice, he went into a complete ecstasy. It's like, what is this? Who got you this? And then both of them realized what happened. It was Srimati Radharani. Another devotee, very exalted. This is Goswamis are who made Vrindavan relevant for us. Because before that, a lot of the places were kind of lost. So I'm quickly sharing some pastimes. There was this wonderful devotee. His name is this Gopal Bhatta Goswami, and this Gopal Raghunath Das Goswami. Raghunath Das Goswami was a most austere devotee. Now, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had many austere devotees, but Raghunath Das Goswami was the most austere of all the devotees, right? Very, very austere. So he would be chanting Hare Krishna every day on the banks of Radhakund. So his samadhi isn't on the banks of Radhakund. When you come to Radhakund, you can see. And one day Sanatan Goswami was passing by and he sees Raghunath Das Goswami is chanting, and there are two tigers that are drinking water from Radhakund. And he saw Krishna was standing behind with a stick, protecting Raghunath Das Goswami. Sanatan Goswami's jaw dropped. He went up to Raghunath and he said, "My dear Raghunath, today I saw Krishna was protecting you from the tigers. Your chanting is very intense. It attracts the Supreme Lord. But you should not make the Supreme Lord serve you. We are here to serve the Supreme Lord. So please, get yourself a bhajan kutir so that you're protected from wild animals and things like that." Raghunath Das Goswami said, "Very well, I'll do it." He didn't. Next day again, he was chanting. And this time, Raghunath Das Goswami it was very hot. So Sanatan Goswami is passing by again, and he sees that Srimati Radharani is holding her pallu on top of Sanatan Goswami, giving him shade. So he doesn't feel the direct sunlight. Rather, she being so delicate, she was getting the sunlight on her and she was perspirating. Sweat from her body was flowing like a little small stream into Radhakund. And Sanatan Goswami went like, "Oh my God, first Krishna, now Radharani. What you doing, my dear Raghunath, with your chanting? You're pleasing the Lord, but they're serving you. Not good, not good. Please make yourself a bhajan kutir." And finally, he got himself a bhajan kutir. And if you go today, it's a very humble place, very small place. Nobody knows whose place this is. But for us who are devotees, we go, we chant, and we beg for his mercy, because his chanting was so amazing that the Supreme Lord and his eternal consort came to serve him, right? That's Krishna's nature, to be serving his devotees. So such is the place of Vrindavan, right? This whole area of Vrindavan, Mathura, Govardhan, Barsana, these places are like a lotus. Now, one of the things that is impossible to understand about Vrindavan is, but it takes us, if we take a car from Vrindavan, it'll take us at least an hour and a half to go to Barsana, which is Radharani's village, where she's the queen. She's the queen of Vrindavan, but her father was the king of Barsana. And Nand Maharaj is the king of Vrindavan. From Vrindavan, it takes us by car 1.5 hours. Radharani every day would come to cook for, even after marriage, she would come to cook for Krishna every single day to Kusum Sarovar. And in 10 minutes, she would be there. Now, the way to understand this, Vrindavan, if you look at it, it's like a lotus. It's like a lotus flower, right? And the lotus can contract and expand. So it is understood by our acharyas. Now, don't try to understand with logic. I'm going a little esoteric because it's Kartik month, we are in Vrindavan, and I just wanted to share a little bit of nectar. So the way Vrindavan works is it's like a lotus flower. So when Radharani decides she wants to go from point A to point B, the lotus contracts. And other times the lotus expands. So a lot of times Krishna, he's herding the cows. So there's a point where Radharani and Krishna has a meeting point. Now from that point to herding the cows, if you see, it's a very long distance by car. But that's a very close distance as described in the scriptures because of this opening and closing of the lotus. Another example I'll give you where material laws don't exist or don't act in Vrindavan. When the Rasa Leela dance is happening, the gopis were so satisfied with Krishna looking at them and they looking at Krishna and dancing with Krishna that they didn't want that one night to end. So what did Krishna do? Krishna made that one night into 4 billion nights. 4 billion nights. That's the experience they had. Time didn't end. They just experienced Krishna, and it was eternity, being with Krishna. So that is Vrindavan. That is the place. This is literally, laws can just go here and there because this is the spiritual world. And I invite you that if you ever have the good fortune of visiting Vrindavan, I want to create a video series on the places we visit with Maharaj. So all of you can get some summary of what these wonderful places are. Please do visit. It will change your life forever because this is our home. This is where Krishna is. This is where Radharani is. This is where we belong. We've left them to be in this material world. We're struggling with all kinds of problems, but we don't have to struggle. We can come back here and experience the joy of being at home, being with Krishna. So I pray for all of you that you experience Krishna's love wherever you are. There's two ways of being at Vrindavan. One is coming to Vrindavan. The other one is in your mind, being at Vrindavan through the hearing process, right? It's not different. I'll give you an example. In our Nectar of Devotion, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, the description given of a devotee who used to visit the holy places, but then he got old and he couldn't visit. So he decided, I'll offer in my mind. So he was chanting, and then in his mind, he made sweet rice. And in his mind, after he made the sweet rice, he was going to offer it to the Supreme Lord. And before he offered, he wanted to just touch it and check if it gets too hot, that Krishna's tongue doesn't burn. And he touched it, his finger got burnt. Because although there was no sweet rice, there was nothing. In his mind, he was offering. But it was so real that his finger got burnt. So through our mind, those of us who are not able to visit Vrindavan, I invite you to meditate upon these holy places, right? Krishna killing the Kaliya demon. I'm near Krishna Balaram temple. Right here, 10 minutes away is Kaliya Kund, right? There's Govardhan. There is all these wonderful pastimes. There is Prem Sarovar. I want to see that place. There is a Sarovar or a lake made from the tears of Radharani and Krishna. Why? Radharani Radharani felt Krishna is going to get up and leave. He was not going to leave, but somehow she felt he's going to leave. And she started crying, feeling that separation from Krishna. Although Krishna was right there. And Krishna, seeing Radharani crying, he started crying. And both of their tears made this little Sarovar called Prem Sarovar, which is right next to Govardhan. So like that, there are so many beautiful, beautiful places that are very less known. Even locals don't know these places. But thanks to our Guru Shishya Parampara, we get to hear about them, experience them, see them. So I encourage you that you watch the videos of Vrindavan. You hear, I'll share whatever I can in the Philosophy Friday group, and meditate on these pastimes of Krishna and enter Vrindavan in your mind and experience the 10,000 times benefit. If you are in Vrindavan, you do anything here during Kartik month, the benefits are 10,000 times. So you do anything anywhere else, 1,000 times. But if you're in Vrindavan consciousness, you can get the 10,000 times benefit. So praying for all of you in Vrindavan, missing you all. I know some of you are coming at the end of my trip. So I look forward to seeing you. Thank you very much. I'll end here because I want to go to the temple also and offer a lamp. So thank you very much. Shri Radha Damodar ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. All glories to the disciplic succession for whom we are able to access this holy place, these pastimes. So let's offer our gratitude, let's chant, and let's experience the joy of Krishna's pastimes and Krishna's holy Dham, Krishna's name, Krishna's Leela, Krishna's qualities, Krishna's form. Radha Damodar ki jai. Hare Krishna. Take care, everyone.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna.